Hello, everyone. Today it's time to put some games to the test by making them battle out through our arguments and our opinion on them. So it's going to be one game versus the other, and I guess everything is taken into consideration in this tough and rigorous battle. Um,
Yeah,
so I guess we can just go.
no
Yeah,
feelings spared in this one.
hell no.
First one,
So the first round we have the legendary highly memed Minecraft itself, what everyone grew up on, versus the classic, straight classic, Counter Strike Global Offensive. So, to me, right off the bat, these are probably the two games that I've played the most throughout my life. Um, it's tough, very different. I would probably say that in terms of a complete game, Minecraft is probably getting some extra points in that aspect. It's more complete. I think you have more uh, of a potential of just playing it for hours, hours upon hours. Whereas Counter Strike, you're likely to be a little bit depressed after perhaps two games. But we power through. I don't know. What do you think?
yeah. I gotta say, I think Counter Strike is a better game just because you can play it for longer. When we play, and from what I've heard other people playing, when they play Minecraft, you start up a world, you can tell your friends, "Hey, come on, we're gonna start a new world in Minecraft. It's gonna be amazing." Then you play 2 weeks, 1 month, and then everyone's done playing. No one plays again. It happened to us during Christmas. We started a Minecraft server. It ended in a month. Counter Strike, we all have 3,000 hours on it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I think
think
that's a pretty fair point.
I think Counter Strike wins just for being a more long-lived game with more variety to it. Every round's different.
Yeah. What something that you have to appreciate also with the games as well in both of these. I'm thinking more on Counter Strike, but actually it's kind of in both, where it's like it's so open to everyone to the point that you can make your own server. There's like surfing in Minecraft, no, in Counter Strike, maybe in Minecraft as well. And Minecraft has every mini game. Like it's there's a lot of variety. It's just not just the core. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Counter Strike has, I think, probably like some RP servers or some shit. Like community servers go pretty bananas sometimes. But
Yeah.
I feel like in Minecraft, I guess you have kind of the same thing too.
Yeah. I don't know though. I
Not
don't know.
RP
Is it?
servers, but
Yeah, but is Counter Strike really better though? Like Minecraft is such a I don't know. I feel like it started a lot as well. It's like iconic in that sense.
yeah.
Counter Strike 2 though, when you think about it.
I mean, Counter Strike is the only game that does it in its own way, you know? I mean,
Yeah,
there's except Valorant, which like tried to imitate Counter Strike, but kind of failed pathetically.
100%.
Uh, yeah. I mean, Counter Strike's the only one in the genre. But will you take like the closest example, maybe? Like I would say Call of Duty, maybe. Would you agree? Call of
Yeah,
Duty the closest. They have to
yeah,
bring a new one out every year to stay relevant. Counter Strike,
exactly.
they bring in maybe a minor update out every 2 years and they're still relevant.
Exactly. It goes to show, yeah. And yeah, it's been out for so long as well because they're like even though there are maybe I don't know 3 games technically, three like
CS,
standalone versions.
CS games,
Yeah,
or
CS
yeah,
games. It's still like it's the same game. It's as
yeah,
open. It's as the same concept.
yeah. Like the core
But that could be a
mechanics.
bad thing.
I don't know. I feel like the core mechanics have survived throughout the times,
Yeah,
and that just shows you what a great game it is.
yeah. I will just for the longevity. I actually will say Counter Strike as well in this one. But Minecraft, I think it's in a top maybe a top 5 or top 3 games ever though. Apart from that.
I don't know. I think there's a bit of nostalgia involved in that, maybe that makes the clouds the judgment. You get what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
whatever. So Counter Strike wins this round.
Yeah. Let's go.
On to the
Next.
next one. Now this one we have a very difficult battle. We have Antaria online versus The Witcher Wild Hunt. Now,
Oof.
both of these games I do not like at all. Antaria Online, for those who haven't played it, and I'm just gonna assume no one's ever played it because it's a shit game. You kill crabs for missions, and then you kill some more crabs. Then you
Yep.
go and kill some monkeys. Then maybe you go
Yep.
and kill some green monkeys. And that's about the game.
Sounds
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, it does not sound fun. And then we have The Witcher Wild Hunt. Now, some people would say this is a good game. Those people are not me. I
Really?
think it's a bad game. It's
Really?
boring. Honestly, I could never get into it. Oof, the story is not really like entertaining. Nah, I don't. Mm-mm. I
I agree with
think,
the story. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know which would win. I would say, I don't know.
I mean, based off your descriptions alone, I would say Antaria, right? But I remember The
Wins.
Witcher as well. Uh, I mean, it's yeah, Antaria wins,
Mm.
but I remember The Witcher being it was very cozy and nice, especially at like release. But whew, I don't know. There's a huge kind of a fan base around it, but same here. Like, and the story never really stuck with me, and everyone it was almost like a circle jerk around it, and it was like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
it's
no,
so
it's
great.
all circle jerkers who support The Witcher, and I think that just because you have like
Old.
an equally good game with Antaria Online, with uh obviously much smaller budgets than The Witcher, I think Antaria Online has to take the first prize, and you can play it co-op. Playing games co-op
That's a big
just
thing.
boosts up.
Yeah, and there is something. First of all, the graphics are cute. You gotta
Mm,
love a little bit
yeah,
of that semi hentai esque. You can start dreaming a little bit, but it's also I think you gotta respect the games where it's you just kill the crabs. Like yeah, well, what if I will kill the crabs and I want the gear and I want to upgrade it
yeah.
and
I mean,
it's a dumb grindy game. Like sometimes that's
yeah, like
cool.
yeah. Honestly, like the we played it for like one day and completed it in one day. And I think we started playing it at around maybe like 8 in the evening. Then you guys finished it at around like 4 in the morning or something like that,
Yep,
right? I
yep.
wanted to kill myself at 1 a.m. and I think at 2 a.m. I quit, something like that.
Weak.
Some people might say that, nah, I just, no, no. But I still think that Ontario Online gave more content than The Witcher, so I think it should advance to the next round.
That's true. That's true. And I don't think that we should be bullied into saying that The Witcher is such a great game because I
Yeah.
feel like that's the popular opinion here. But you know what? I liked it. Cozy, beautiful, but AAA. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
let's say Ontario.
yeah, yeah. And if anyone says The Witcher is better, they will be banned.
Yeah, so don't say that. So next up, we have two more classics. Really, we have Amogus that just can't stay away uh, in our lives, probably forever. Um, and Garry's Mod itself, the sandbox of the Source engine, the most cancerous place probably on Steam till this day.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I honestly, I've never really played Garry's Mod. I gotta say. So,
Yeah,
I don't really know. I've seen Trouble in Terrorist Town, some videos of that, but that's
yep,
about it. Mm,
yeah. Personally, the same. I mean, I haven't played it like a lot. Not as much as some other people. Just because I think as soon as I got into CS, I felt like if I wanted that kind of content, I would just have it in CS on a
mm,
server
yeah.
somewhere. And yeah, but I think it gives a lot of opportunities to like build and create whatever you want, what type of game mode you want. But that being said, I think Among Us has uh, a sick concept. Uh,
Yeah,
Alone, that is so much fun, or it was so much fun. I think it probably still is, a lot of fun. You don't need to really upgrade anything within it. The concept in itself is fun. It's a great party game,
yeah,
arguably one of the better party games.
yeah. I think it's well, I mean, Among Us is kind of like iconic, honestly. It came out, everyone played it, right? And
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I think the reason no one plays it is because it got hyped up too much and everyone just like played it into the ground.
yeah,
I think it would have lasted a lot longer if people saw it as a party game that's supposed to be played just a little bit from time to time. It probably
exactly.
would have lived on still now.
Yeah,
But
it,
yeah, so I would have to say honestly, Amogus. Uh,
yeah, yeah. I think it's cool that it's so simple, but the concept is so good. I would also though add that it's as long as you're playing with the right setting in terms of you have people you know or don't, but at least you're all in a
yeah.
call. Because people who play this on their phones online with randoms, like they are psychopaths. Like
Yes.
what is fun with that? Just typing in a chat like
Yeah.
it was
Oh yeah.
yellow, like
Typing on a phone in chat. Like
bro,
that
how,
that is
why?
a special breed of people.
That is just
But the thing is that this game was able to cater to the needs of these psychopaths. Just shows
true,
that it is a pretty darn good game.
true. I agree. If we take that logic, though, I think there is a lot of psychopaths on Garry's Mod, though, to survive through this extreme load of cancer. Um,
Yeah.
but still, I would, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm okay with taking Amogus.
All right. Among Us it is. So we have here two games that I don't think are that popular. We have Project
Hmm.
Zomboid. I think that one's getting a bit more popular nowadays.
Hmm.
Zombie survival game that I like to call basically like The Walking Dead, the game. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, and then we have Goose Duck, which is just a Mogus ripoff, but done better in my opinion. And yeah, so what do you
Hmm.
think?
Well, this is interesting because first of all, you have to take in factor in how do you judge Goose Goose Duck? Like, do you judge it? Because then I could give it the same compliments I gave Amogus, where it's like,
Mm.
wow, the concept is so great.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
but it didn't pop up for a reason.
mm, hmm. Yeah, yeah. I think from the very little that I've played Project Zomboid, you've played it more than me. I think it's really cool. Whether or not it's gonna stick in
Yeah,
me, I think you're hoping, and I guess we will
I
see.
honestly, I kind of like start to get a bit like less inclined to play it as well. But yeah, I think it's a extremely cool idea how it works,
Yep.
and I
Yep.
really like it. It's like really interesting to play. It's everything that can happen to you in the real world can happen to you in Project Zomboid, kinda. That's how I felt. Uh, you can really attack the problems in the game with real world solutions, which is really cool in game. You don't have to like use game logic if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. 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 I really like that aspect. I think it's interesting because it's in theory I love it.
Mm,
But then it's like there were moments, and this is maybe the bitch in me that's been playing these easy games, uh, games that are becoming more and more easy, kind of. But I kind of got triggered sometimes, where it's like, oh my god, like I have to do this now. And I think the major issue that I have, which isn't really, it's not that big of an issue. It's there is a tiny, almost like roguelike aspect to it, which is really, I hate that.
Mm.
the fact that you die and then you restart over. But I think they did a good job in not you're not really attached to your character in that sense, where it's like Minecraft hardcore, where it's like you die and you're like, oh shit, now I'm dead. Here it's just like repeat kind of,
Yeah.
which is cool, but it is still a problem for me.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It's quite annoying to have like since there are skills on the character as well,
Yeah,
that you can like make one mistake and it's not
exactly.
like yeah, you just didn't pay attention for a second there and then like you got bitten and now you got to drink bleach and kill yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, I would have preferred if it was the exact same thing, but just that you respawn like naked,
Hmm.
because
Yeah,
that's
but
essentially what you're doing anyways.
I don't know. It could like it. I think it doesn't have like that much difference in like mechanics, kinda. But it
Yeah,
kinda gives you like it's a whole other feeling. You get what I'm saying? It's not like
yeah,
you wouldn't
yeah.
value like living as much if that happened. You'd be
Mm,
like,
that's
"Oh, I
true.
got
That's
bitten.
true.
I'll just drink bleach straight away. Like I'm just gonna go out. Like, oh, I might get bitten if I go through here. Ah, whatever."
Yeah.
Like you learn to like really value your life, and then still, if you die, it doesn't really matter too much,
Mm,
which
yeah, I
is
think they did that well.
yeah. So I think they did it well, and yeah, seeing how much we talked about Project Zomboid and not Goose Duck, I think I think we had a
Yeah,
pretty decent winner right here.
yeah. I think the concept just takes it. Had it been Among Us, I probably would have taken Among Us, but just because it's not Among Us, it's probably gonna be
Yeah.
Project on board here.
All right.
So next up, two pretty similar games in kind of the how to say, like the way you process through the game. It's Fortnite versus, and we're taking Fortnite Battle Royale because the other thing is just I don't think can you still play the other game mode in Fortnite
I
anymore?
think you can still play it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess there's probably like two people online doing that right now. Uh, and yeah, so Battle Royale Fortnite versus Rocket League itself. Uh, Thoughts?
Well, I mean, honestly, I think you played Fortnite when we played it at the start, right?
Of
Like,
course,
yeah. It was really fun when we first started playing it, when
so
everyone
much
was
fun.
trying to figure out how it works, and getting
John Wick times.
yeah, getting the first victory royale on that one.
That was
Woo!
epic.
Those are good times. The first victory royale that we got was actually we were gaming in a cave. Okay,
Yep.
if we say in a cave,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
like in a basement.
in a basement.
Yeah, as gamers do. Yeah, and it was like 4 a.m. and we were like playing Fortnite for maybe like 5 hours straight, just trying to get that one win, and we finally got it. Ah, those were times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a really cool. I missed that time. Honestly, it was so cozy.
yeah.
Yeah.
But now
Fortnite
I
was so
feel like
good.
they've added so much things, and it's like I don't know, people got so much better, and it's hard to blame the game for people getting better, but it just kind of sucks that like everyone knows how to play now, and it's all about
Yeah.
like building like Eiffel Towers as soon as you see someone. I think it's like it might be fun for some people. I understand why, but it's lost that
Yeah.
like charm, that
Mm,
noob charm that's nice to have.
yeah. And it was also the hysteria. I mean, I think even if everyone was shit, if it wasn't this like extreme hype behind it in the beginning, I probably still wouldn't have been just like, oh, I love this. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I probably would have. It's pretty good, but there really was this entire thing which kind of gave you an incentive to play, even though getting a victory royale didn't get you anything. You had the battle pass things, but you
Mm.
still, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
So
Rocket League though.
yeah, I mean Rocket League is a pretty good game, but I don't know. I feel like it's just another good game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It has nothing like special, in my opinion. I mean, it's like one of a kind.
conceptually it's
Oh,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Conceptually, it's kind of like one of a kind.
yeah,
Like, who the hell thought of like flying cars playing football? Like, what?
yeah.
But
That's cool.
it's cool and it's a nice idea. But I don't know. It doesn't have that. It never had that same
Yeah.
that spice that Fortnite had at the start. You know,
No.
you weren't up like uh grinding Rocket League games like, yeah, I won a game, or like,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I think the problem with it is also you have to it kind of throws you in this like more competitive mindset, whereas Fortnite kind of threw you in a very casual and
yeah,
everyone's just trying mindset, whereas Rocket League, when it becomes like a team versus team and it's just you and some people on the
yeah,
server, it really becomes this like, oh, and now we have elo, or I think they added probably elo later, but still like it
yeah,
becomes very and you have to really love it, just like Counter
yeah,
Strike is. If you don't love it, love it, love it, you're not really gonna play it.
yeah. I feel like, yeah, the fact that Fortnite is like everyone versus everyone, like a battle royale, right? It makes that
Yeah,
you can troll other people, which is like you don't have to fight to win, which is just so much fun. Like you can just hide in a
yeah.
bush and then still win and not see anyone the whole game basically and
Yeah,
win the game
it's
and
that probably worked in 2017, but
yeah,
for me,
but like it's things like that that like
yeah,
you aren't fighting each other on like even ground, which makes it you can come up with crazy strategies that like works because no one's paying attention to you especially.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, exactly,
yeah.
exactly,
Like
yeah,
I think we probably did the Stairway to Heaven strategy on Fortnite. I don't know if you remember
true,
that we
true,
built a
yeah,
stair up
yeah,
to
yeah,
the heaven and then we
yeah,
just went
yeah.
straight in. I think we almost won or maybe won with that strategy at some point. But yeah,
I think so. Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
yeah.
Shit.
So I think
Yeah,
yeah, I think Fortnite wins this round.
I think so too. Just it's too iconic. It's
Yeah,
yeah. Even though Battle Royale, personally, not a huge fan of Battle
yeah.
Royale as a whole, but yeah,
Back in the
it was
day,
great.
it was the shit.
Oh yeah, we just never got that experience from Rocket League ever.
Yeah.
Basically,
All right,
Fortnite it is.
next round. So we have Assassin's Creed Odyssey versus Raft.
Ooh,
Uh, Raft is a, I think, I don't know how popular it is. It's a, well, it's a raft building survival game. You float around, you collect scrap in the trash in the ocean, and you build up your raft. Then you find
yep,
out a little story. You can build new, interesting buildings, electronics, things like that.
yep.
And then Assassin's Creed Odyssey, everyone knows what that is. Now, I don't know here. I've I've played Assassin's Creed Odyssey a bit, and it's like it's decent, but it doesn't have that old Assassin's Creed vibe. I feel
Yeah,
like I don't know. I kind of got out of the loop of the Assassin's Creed, and all of a sudden there's like 50,000 different Assassin's Creeds getting
yeah.
released every like 6 weeks,
In
and
like 50 different time periods.
yeah, and it's like I don't know. I back in the day it felt like, oh damn. I don't know if you remember, but in Stockholm there were like posters of Assassin's Creed 3 in the subway.
Yeah, yeah,
That was
yeah. Actually,
so that 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 hype was like, whew. We should have put
yeah.
Assassin's Creed 3 instead.
Was Assassin's Creed 3 the one with the revolution,
Yeah, the
or was
American
that
Civil War. Yeah,
the American Civil War? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I think after that, I
yeah,
don't know what you think of Black Flag. I think it was probably decent. It's probably compared to some of the new ones, it's probably better. But ever since Black Flag, I don't know, it wasn't the same to me.
yeah. I think that Assassin's Creed 3 was the best, and since then, Black Flag it was okay, not as good as Assassin's Creed 3, I'd say, but
No.
still quite good. But then
Mm,
after that, it just completely fell off. Or actually,
100%.
one I like, Assassin's Creed Unity, I think it's called.
Oh,
That
that's
was
the
really cool.
French
The
Revolution,
French,
no?
yeah, French
Yeah,
Revolution, yeah.
can
That
play
one
it.
was really cool.
Hmm.
That playing multiplayer with people, I really like that part. It was a bit buggy, but I still thought it was really cool that game. And also you
I
had
kind
like
of
some sick trailers from that.
there's a bit of an elephant in my room right now, which is this Odyssey one. Is this like prehistoric?
Alright, Odyssey is if I remember correctly, is the Greek ancient Greece. So you
Mm.
have
Okay.
Leonidas and like those guys. You have Sparta
Ooh.
fighting against Athens and things like that.
That
So I
actually
mean,
sounds cool.
it sounds cool, but less the story. I mean, the
Yeah.
gameplay. It's so different from the old Assassin's Creeds. Uh, it didn't cut it for me. I tried playing it. I think I played it like uh, maybe 20 hours something, but I never had that Assassin's Creed vibe from it. It just
Mm.
lost it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost, yeah. I don't know. There's something with the time period of like the Ezio and Altair, like that was Assassin's Creed, you know.
Yeah.
Everything after that, even though no, I could buy Assassin's Creed 3, honestly.
Mm,
But it was less, I don't know, it was less like beautiful almost. It fit them so well. And for that
yeah.
reason, if you take those games, one of those, maybe I would have 100% picked them over Raft. But now I think Raft is cool. I think
Yeah.
it's a really cozy
Yeah,
game.
yeah, Raft is very cozy to play. You have to play with friends though, but like you have the ability to play with friends that you don't have in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which just makes it better. Uh, and yeah, it's just so calming. Just you just drift on the ocean and collect some scrap, build up a nice raft, a nice looking raft, and then you find some cool islands. You explore them a bit, then you keep going. You get some new upgrades. You get like a sail so that you can go in the direction you want. Things like that. It makes it
Yeah,
very, very calm game, very chill, and yeah,
yeah. I
uh,
would take Raft.
yeah,
I think it's a good survival game.
yeah,
Cozy. It's not too much and not too little. Also,
yeah,
very intuitive. You get into it. Love it.
yeah. Really nice game, honestly. It does have a little bit too little of content in terms of like length of play, but
Mm.
they keep adding to it. And yeah, we have vowed to play every time they release a major update and just play through it because it's just such a cozy game. So, Raft it
It's
is
great.
then. On to the next one.
Okay, here we have arguably two of the best games of all time, both together for this battle. So, Grand Theft Auto 5 or The Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim. Gosh, this chewing gum was so strong. Jesus.
Mm. Yeah. So,
I'm such a bitch.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, yeah, GTA 5 uh, and Skyrim completely like iconic games. GTA 5 and I think Skyrim, they both came out around the same time, right?
yeah, I think so.
And I mean, I would say GTA is more relevant, but still really relevant to this day as games.
Yeah,
And that just shows there's basically no other games that do that, right? I
no,
mean, what do you have? You have like CSGO, World of Warcraft, maybe. I'm not so familiar with that
yeah, still
franchise.
not as much. I
Yeah,
think as before.
yeah, and but yeah, GTA 5. I mean, you have the online, you have the GTA RP scene that became huge recently.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, and I think the cool thing though with Skyrim in terms of comparing it in that way to GTA is like GTA for it to be, you know, still playable, especially now that they open up the servers, you can kind of like customize things and really have these open things like RP.
Mm,
And there's online, like there's this entire ecosystem, and it's a game where the premise is essentially you're supposed to be able to do anything,
yeah.
right? Skyrim is so limited compared to that, but it's still
Mm,
relevant, which is pretty crazy. And it's
yeah.
single player. I guess you could play multiplayer, but I don't think it's
Yeah. Skyrim, honestly, like as with any game, it would be so nice to be able to play it with two people.
yeah,
Like, I mean, if you and me could play Skyrim, I mean, I would play it all day, every day,
uh,
probably.
for sure.
Like, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't
100%.
have the longevity, yeah,
Yeah,
that's GTA 5, I feel, in
mm,
terms of, I don't know, it's much more limited,
yeah,
and
yeah.
like, I don't know, the mods add some things to it. I never found that they added like that much. Like,
No,
they're cool, right? But I don't know, if you wanted like more content with mods, it was hard to find good ones.
mm,
But yeah, like some
yeah.
really cool mods that made it a different game and really cool. I don't know.
Like Thomas the Tank Engine.
I tried to find that mod for so long and I could never find it, and I'm still pissed off that I could never find that Thomas the Tank Engine Dragon mod. And
So
like,
drop it in the comments if you
yeah,
have it.
I mean, if you can find that and a good lightsaber mod, I mean,
Mm,
I'm going back to the Skyrim. And just the fact
yeah,
that you can have those makes it pretty damn iconic. A fucking
yeah.
a giant ass cat fighting with lightsabers against a fucking train engine. I mean, like, yeah,
Yeah, I think there's one thing though with these two where it's like Skyrim. I'm more inclined to having the like ambition to actually okay, I'll start over,
yeah,
especially with some time having passed. Whereas GTA is like I will not start over. I have everything unlocked. This is the way it is now, and if I
yeah,
want to go run over some people and go to the strip club, I can do that. And
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the game now.
yeah. I feel like in multiplayer as well. I mean, in multiplayer or in online, there is a huge problem with like money takes so much time to grind, right?
Yeah,
And I mean, it kind of make that you have to hack in game. I don't know if you hacked in the end, but like I know that
I don't think I did.
most of us in our friend group ended up hacking like 500 million dollars in our bank account, and then all we do is just when new cars get released, sometimes new cool cars, we go in, buy a few cars, mod them, drive around a bit, and then we quit.
Yeah, yeah. It's weird though that they made. I think one thing you have to appreciate though with GTA is the constant, updates, and it's
Yeah,
not like it's not even tiny updates. Like there's a new
yeah,
story mode in
and
online.
it's all free, which is pretty cool. I
Exactly.
mean, technically it's not free since like you pay through the
Yeah.
microtransactions with the shark cards or whatever that are completely overpriced. I mean, still that they so many companies would make you pay 20 euros
Yeah.
for each update
Yeah.
that they bring out, which is really
Exactly.
cool.
At this point, we can almost call it free. I mean, if you don't have GTA in 2022, like you've been living under a rock, pretty much.
Yeah,
Like
I mean
you,
like
how?
maybe you should go back to playing Candy Crush at that point.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I think I've owned it on first. It was the 360. I've probably had it on the PS3 as well. I've had it on the Xbox One and the PC, and I mean I've downloaded it on the Xbox Series
Yeah.
S.
I think, yeah,
Crazy.
I've only had it on PS4 and PC, I think, but Skyrim, on the other hand, I've had it
Oof.
on PS3, PS4, and then PC. And I was
Yep.
thinking of buying a Switch just to be able to buy Skyrim again.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, so I don't know.
Man.
By the amount of times bought, I would have to say Skyrim, in my opinion.
Me too. I think at the end of the day, it's not just like I think GTA is the close second, if
Yeah,
we say
yeah,
ever,
yeah, yeah,
almost. But at the end of the day, a game is a game. It's not just yeah, but in this game you can do everything.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
super cool, and it's a cool gimmick, kind of, and it's nice and it's super cool. The community, everything, but Skyrim as a pure game, the grind wasn't too grindy, but it was still grindy, and you could do whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
You
If I
this
if I
this
had to choose one game to uh I could only play that game for the rest of my life, I would probably pick Skyrim.
Yeah, that's true.
Just because like there's less content obviously than in GTA because there's the online aspect, so like other players can change your yeah. But in Skyrim the mods and it's just so much
Yeah.
nicer to play like over a long period.
And there's one thing that I just have to say about this is a lot of Bethesda games, but in Skyrim it just struck me as the most, like you could feel it the most. The fact that you can kill anyone, like you can stab the guy who's in the story, right? Like you, it's I think you probably perhaps can't do that, but if like some guy runs up to you and it's like you want to stab him, you can do that. You can pickpocket this guy, and you can, you know, this guy is I don't know, it's so free. If you have a dialogue with someone, you can stab them afterwards.
Yeah.
It's not this like, oh no, now that you aim on it, I guess some characters obviously, but now that you aim on it, it grays
Yeah.
out and you can't pull the trigger. Like,
Yeah, sadly
no,
some you can't kill some characters like for example children
true, there was
that
that, but
somehow are made the most annoying people in the world. And then you get I think that has to be on purpose though that they made them so annoying and not killable.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
alright,
I'm thinking
I
Skyrim
think
as
it's
well.
unanimous. Skyrim goes through to the next round.
Tight.
So
Ooh.
here, we have Duck Game versus Sea of Thieves. Yeah,
Well,
so I don't know, is Duck Game a popular game? I don't know.
I think not as much now.
It's
I think they
basically
had it a little.
a shitty platformer where you shoot each other, kind of like Smash Bros in a way, but
Mm,
with guns and you have like 1 HP, and you just if
yeah,
you get hit once, I think you die, kinda.
pretty much. Yep, yep.
And you can find
There's
guns on
armor
the
you can
map.
pick up.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's armor you can pick up. There's different guns you can pick up. Clunky controls. Uh,
That's what
yeah,
you think.
yeah. If you play on PC with mouse and keyboard, nah,
Then it's not clunky.
then it's clunky. If you play on controller, it's a bit less clunky. Then you have Sea of Thieves. Amazing game, amazing graphics. Uh, so much fun that like it's basically you can do whatever you want, right? You can just float on the sea. I really like that aspect. That it's just the loot you get doesn't advance you in any way except like making you look cooler, and that just
Mm,
makes it you don't need to care about the loot at all, and you can just
yeah.
enjoy the game for the game.
I will say that you're kind of coming into this with a bias, and it's okay
I
because
don't think so.
you
I think
you
my
you
I
you
am
you've
completely
always had something against Duck Game, and you're also a huge pirate guy as a whole. So uh, I don't know what your relationship is to ducks, but the, there may be a little duckism here.
yeah maybe, but I would still have to vote for Sea of Thieves every day of the week because it's just I feel like the only game that's been released that just focuses on the gameplay only and not on progress at all. Like barely.
Yeah. I never got super stuck, but it's also my fault. Like it's not like I played it and I don't like it. It's just yeah. I think the concept is cool. I think I like the graphics. I like those types of graphics as well. It looks
Mhm.
beautiful. Um I love Duck Game. I think it's a really good party game, but yes, it's not revolutionary at all. There's no way I can give this one to Duck Game, even though I've had more fun historically playing Duck Game,
Yeah.
obviously. But yeah,
Yeah. So
I'm
it's
giving it to Sea.
unanimous, not even a close call. Sea of Thieves moves on to the next round.
Okay, very different games here. We got The Last of Us, the epic zombie adventure game, versus the one and only MOBA, League of Legends. What do you say?
It's hard because yeah, The Last of Us it's just so good. I mean, I don't know. I watched PewDiePie play it, and then I
Yep.
went ahead. I watched the whole playthrough, and then I went ahead and bought it afterwards and played the whole thing through. And I think that just tells you a lot about like a
Yeah.
story-based game that makes you want to do that. That's pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah. It's a beautiful story in
Yeah,
terms of getting attached, and like the emotion in it is
yeah,
honestly unlike any other story.
yeah. I mean,
I think.
I feel like no one has like this good a story, and yeah, the story is just amazing in The Last of Us. The only game where I've ever felt that the story is actually something I care about,
Yeah.
and that isn't just like something kind of like slapped on so that you make sense of the mechanics and you want to progress, kinda.
No, exactly. Exactly. It is like a movie.
Yeah. Oh man.
Mm.
And then, but then you have League of Legends. I mean, I've played it a lot, but I don't know. It just doesn't. If I could relive The Last of Us or relive League of Legends, I would have to choose The Last of Us. And I
Mm.
don't think you can compare it with just like after you played it, because The Last of Us is an experience, just a
Yeah.
one-time experience. And but it's the experience of that one small time is much better than the League of Legends experience overall, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too. I mean, you have to. It's so different, but it's still. Yeah, it has to be The Last of Us to me, just because it's weird. Because League of Legends, for instance, and even Counter Strike can fall into this. It's games where you play in a team and you play against some other team, and when the game is over, you start over. It's almost not like games. It's more like, it literally is more like a sport to me, like an esport, you know. And it's so hard to compare
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
to something like
I
The
get what
Last
you
of
mean.
Us.
It's not like yeah, it's not a game. It's like a different type of activity. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like chess, you know. Am I gonna say chess is better than The Last of Us? Probably, but how, you know?
yeah. Yeah. It's a different experience, and
You know.
mm,
In terms of longevity, though, I mean, there's a lot of things I think League of Legends would win at. Uh, the laughter, probably, the quite frankly, the fun,
yeah,
probably, in terms of like how much fun.
yeah.
But
I don't think you can have much like of that type of fun in single player games, and that's not what you're
yeah,
looking for in those single
no,
player games. Uh, yeah. So I just think The Last of Us has an overall better experience than the League of Legends because I
mm,
don't think there's any like bit that you feel like frustrating because it's not a hard game. You're not gonna struggle at it. And but League of
exactly,
Legends, you can have toxic people, people that just flame you for no reason, and it can lead to some not fun games.
yeah, yeah. Had it been like CS:GO, which is, if we can compare League and CS:GO, I would have said CS. But since it's League, I still really like League. But it's like League to me is perhaps like the second best esports type game,
Mm,
in terms of experience, and The Last of Us is probably the best storytelling, story based adventure game, like,
yeah.
out of all of them. So just because of that, I will go for The Last of Us. Had it been like CS:GO, maybe probably would have picked CS, but I'm going Last of Us.
All right. I think yeah. So Last of Us moves on. Now on to the last round.
Ooh,
So Dark Souls, and we pick Dark Souls 3 here versus Red Dead Redemption 2.
yep.
This is hard. Um,
This is very hard.
Dark Souls 3, like, sure, it's a very hard game, but it has such a nice atmosphere, And once you learn the mechanics of the game, it doesn't become as much as like painstakingly hard, but more
Yeah,
of a learn the moves and kind of like learn the flow of the dance, kinda. And
yeah,
it's not about, yeah, so it's not hard in that, oh, I'll never be able to get through this. It's like, okay, so now I died, and since the game is so well made, you know that when you die, it's your fault, and you can, every time you can see, okay, so maybe I shouldn't do that here, and now I know. And it's just so easy to improve in that game that, yeah,
yeah,
it's so I great game in that
yeah. I think it's interesting to compare. It's I would say in terms of because that's the thing with Rockstar games, right? Like in terms of the core game, kind of like the gameplay, the your incentive to play, why do you play, how does it feel when you play? I think Dark Souls probably wins just because it's very unique in that sense, and the gameplay is difficult, but it's still it's challenging in a good way. And Rockstar games, as great as they are, and this is with no disrespect meant, but it often is a little bit just like, okay, here's an open world, it's beautiful,
one.
and there's a little story and some side quests,
Yeah,
and you go. And at the end of the day, yeah, it's a lot of fun, but is it? Do I get the same like gameplay feeling as something in like Dark Souls, where
yeah.
it's Dark Souls is yeah,
I feel like Red Dead Redemption 2, it gave you a really immersive world, at least.
yeah,
Like, when you start dialogues, it's not like you walk up to someone, you press X, the camera switches up, you get text bubbles and
yeah,
things like that. You just hold left trigger, and then you move in to a cutscene just like so smoothly that
yeah,
it feels like you're always in the same state, which makes it so immersive. You never like
super.
get that break,
No,
which is a really good plus. But I still think that, I don't know, Dark Souls has a whole vibe to it, a whole atmosphere. I'm kind of torn. I don't know which one to pick.
yeah, it's really hard. I think honestly that Rockstar did such a good job that there is no way that I can ignore the fact that it's beautiful and it's like I say it's super immersive to the point where it's like wow, they actually topped GTA. Although yeah, it was a long time ago at this point, but they actually made it so much more immersive in my opinion.
Mm,
Somehow I was like,
yeah,
oh, it's just going to be GTA with the horses,
yeah,
again. But they managed to do it even better. It's the best world I think ever made. I also think they slipped in a very good story into it. They made a
mm,
nice character, a nice main character. Um, I will go with Red Dead, but Dark Souls is like you say, the whole world, the atmosphere. I love the character creation, of course.
mm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. I love the lore behind Dark Souls, and
mm,
it's such a mysterious world, which some people
yeah,
find lazy, and
hmm,
that you have to find the story in the item descriptions, kinda. But I feel like if you take the time to read the item descriptions and you find out that, oh shit, this guy did this, and you make the connections yourself, it's
mm,
such a cool way to tell the story.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Are you going with Red Dead?
I am going with Red Dead, even though I would say that in terms of a pure game, like you go to the arcade and you play a game, like I don't know how to explain it, but the actual game in itself, gameplay, I would go for Dark Souls, but
Yeah,
I will say Red Dead just because of how great it really is.
yeah. I think I also have to say Red Dead because it was so impressive
Yeah,
how immersive the world felt, and yeah, yeah. So I think we go with Red Dead here.
let's say it.
And
Let's
yeah,
say that.
so we're gonna do another round. The next round, some point in the future, maybe, where
We'll
we
see.
Yeah, the continue the tournament.
Yep, we'll see what the best game is. Is it going to be Antaria? Maybe. It's not going to be The Witcher, at least. That's for sure.
Yeah, because that one's already out. So yeah, that's about it.